Good evening, team. How we doing? How's everybody's day today? A little bit of chop out there. There was a lot of opportunity out there, though. Even with this little bit of a choppy market, I mean, I had a nice little green day today. Little over 1.5%. I think it came out to, which is pretty nice. Scalping the SPY, really, that was it. I know you guys caught that. A lot of you guys caught that Neo Invictus too, which was just nasty, just filthy on Neo. I think we could actually pull that up in a second here, but how's everybody doing? You guys good? Let's see if we got the feed going on over here. How you guys doing? We doing good? Everybody having a good evening today? All right, let's get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a wild day. Again, thinking about what's happened with the market over these last basically 2 or 3 days, we could be in for a little bit of a relief bounce going into the end of the week before we end up really selling off next week. I think, again, remember that 372.50 level is going to be really important. That's going to be heavily defended. We talked about that in the video a little bit earlier today, that 372.50 level is going to be defended. And if you guys were paying attention on yesterday's live stream, what did we say about Tesla? We were talking about Tesla. People were asking about it. We were thinking about the levels. What did we see on Tesla? That's a trade that I want to go over with you guys. But again, since this is a public live stream, Late Night Fix with Short the VIX is fucking back, people. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the stream on your way in. Again, how many we got in here? Okay, we got a little bit of a softer crowd tonight. But again, guys, let's rip those likes up here. If you guys run it up to 100, okay, here's what we'll do. If you guys can rip 300 likes on this live stream while we're still on, we'll do ankles. How about that? We'll do a little bit of ankle auction over here. That'll be the deal. Throw it back to some of those old days over there where we're auctioning off my ankles. If you guys do that, give you a little something in return. But let's actually look at Tesla really quickly over here because I do want to show you guys the importance of levels before we go over a couple of things that happen in the bond market, some key levels going into tomorrow, and some key stocks that we do need to look at. This is going to be weird when people play this stream back to be like, what? If you're new to the channel, why the hell is this kid trying to show his ankles? It's a long story. You should probably leave it in the past. This is probably the last time we'll ever do that. But all right, let's get Tesla up here and take a look at some of these levels that we were looking at. Tessie. All right. So Tessie, what did we say? 295. That 295.50, 295.60 level that we were looking at in yesterday's live stream was in play today. So looking at this key level over here, let's see if we can figure out where this was exactly from. This is on the 1 hour. It's going to look horrendous with this split over here. Jesus, I hate when it does this. This is like the worst thing of all time. Just letting you know right now, this is just the worst. So you can see it right here. This key level was defended right here, 295. Big bounce level from a few days ago on the hourly time frame. It's hard to see, but it's very hard to see here. But if I zoom this out a little bit more, you guys can see big bounce level here, big key level of support at this 395.50 level. Now, here's how you would have played this today. And a lot of people did. I mean, a lot of you guys were telling me today. I think it was Justin. It might have been. I think it was Justin today on the one-on-ones. Was talking about this Tesla play. So Justin, if you're in here, buddy, good on you for hitting that, man. And then looking at this right here, so you see price come right down to our level. Tap, 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 pitter, patter, pitter, patter, pitter, patter. Closing candle breakdown right here, down to the next level support. It's that simple. It's really that simple. You could have played the rim. If you look at this on the 3-minute time frame, you see it rim right here. You enter around here, bing, dead. Simple. Play the levels. Very easy. If you guys have any other trades that you guys want to go through here, a little bit of strategy that we can go through as well, we'll get it going. Missed the ankle. You already have pictures of my ankles? Come on. He's lying? Not lying. Stop making money, damn it. 30% and 50% gain today. Easy gains maintained. Atta boy. Yeah, I was just scalping SPY today quickly. Key levels, just kind of watching price action, rims. And just scalping SPY all over the place. It's pretty easy looking at a lot of these levels going through. I mean, they were pretty tight. I wasn't looking for big gains. I think the biggest one was probably like 15% on them. It's just quick in and outs, man. Usually only play SPY, but today showed me the benefit of single stocks because they just went down instead of chop. True. Yeah, Apple. We can take a look at Apple really quickly. Then I want to show you guys some stuff with the treasury yields. Because remember, last night we were talking about Tina. That bitch. Sorry. But yeah, Tina is wild. But let's see. Apple really quickly. What do you want to look at on Apple? Apple chopped all over the place today. I mean, you have a couple of rims right here you could have played. Other than that, Apple doesn't look all that great unless, I mean, maybe I don't have this level here. So here's what I would do. Going into tomorrow, I would mark out this level, which we'll do right now, actually. Low of the day. Boom. have that nice little level here drawn out for tomorrow. We have a nice little target. So we have another level there. Test some more down, maybe. That's my real name, so I'm offended. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tina, if you missed the live stream yesterday, the videos, the tweets, all of that, Tina stands for there is no alternative. So what that means is we've gone over this, but since bond yields have been so low over the years, it really didn't make any sense as a retail investor to be buying bonds or even for the streets. Exactly. Sorry, Tina, who's actually in this chat right now. We're not talking about you. We're talking about alternatives here. Sorry, I know it's going to be confusing. I will, Ryan. We'll hit that QQQ in a second. But essentially, with bond yields rising the way that they have, it creates an alternative for big money managers where if the market's going to be choppy or even go down, they can go lock in an interest rate right now, treasury bonds. It's effectively risk-free. So there's an alternative out in the market. So when you have the Tina effect, there is no alternative. It means all of that money that would have gone into the bond market. Remember, we're basically thinking about the concept of opportunity cost here. Will then flow back into the equity market, providing more demand in pumping stocks. When you have high bond yields like this, and the bond yields are most likely not going to slow down in the foreseeable future just because the Fed's going to be raising rates unless you start to see massive dumping money into bonds, you probably won't see bond yields slow down anytime soon. So it creates an alternative, which is the reverse Tina, if that makes sense. Look at QQQ. It's expecting the 1 hour trend line down. It's due for a bounce off the top of the trend line. Let's, what time frame? 1 hour? Thank you, buddy. Which, what are you talking about? Like this trend line? Or like which one are you looking at here? Are you looking at it like how far out? Are you looking at it like the? I mean, not really. I mean, you're kind of fucking around like this. I mean, if you draw like the 3 points here, 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 you could mess around with it like this. Like, but then you'd have the Powell nonsense in here too. JK, my name isn't actually from Jackson Hole. Well, that's this. That's this right here. I mean, if I were to be drawing this, I would draw it like this. These two. That's aggressive there, bud. Because think about where this trend line is going to put you. Way the fuck up here. 306. That's a bit too far in my mind. There's no reason for in my opinion, for it to come back up to that level, especially at this point. Like, why? Who's buying this market right now? You're going into the winter months. You're going into midterms. You have Powell going ape shit on rates. And the projection for November is going to be another 75 basis point rate hike. So here's the other thing that we got to take a look at here too. I want the yields. I got the 10-year. No, all right. So we'll pull up the 10-year over here. But the 2-year, I kind of want the 10-year. 10-year treasury. Come on, give me the damn 10-year treasury. I'm guessing this one. 3.5. It's not 3.51. There's no way it came down like that. Hold on. It did. We could be in for a fun day tomorrow. Let me look. It's 3.71 right now. This 10-year is going ape shit. Oh my lord. 3.6. Dude, this thing's crazy. The 10-year is skyrocketing. Here's the other thing that I want you guys to look out for too. When you see the dollar, so Dixie, I put Dixie in on your charts here too. The dollar's just been on a moon mission. So looking at these intraday moves on the dollar, when we were looking at this morning, this move is screaming at me. So we basically were seeing this move in the pre-market up here, and then we started to see the dollar pump, retest, come back up. When I was scalping SPY on the way down this morning, I was like, if you guys were in the private live stream with me, I was also going right back to the dollar. I was like, is the dollar pumping? Cool. Hold the puts. When the dollar goes up, your buying power is increasing. So technically you'll see equity prices come down a little bit. It's like a deflationary effect. It's the opposite effect of inflation. Let's see. You secretly print in the shadows daily. You're going to hit 1 million before me. The lot. Oh, is this John? Did you change your name or is this the family account? Is this the family account? That's pretty sweet, man. Run fast. You think the market's going to run? Or we have to go on a run? What are we running? Half marathons over here? End phase price levels? Yes. Here's the deal with end phase. Be careful. End phase spreads are wide and stock moves like a wild person. And look at this thing. I mean, if you look at this, if you watch the price action intraday, it's going to be a little bit wild. Like if you watch the price movements, it'll move $2 like that. Thoughts on VIX movement and Morgan Stanley lawsuit on VIX suppression? I mean, what they might get popped for something on it. But again, what's that going to be? A little fine? That's not really going to tell us all that much about where the market's going to head. I mean, that's not actionable. Hit the unlike button. Oh, no. For those of you guys that have not hit the like button yet, for cooking with whatever his name is, make sure you guys show him how crazy you can go on the like button and just smash the fuck out of it. You're buying a straddle on SPY for a month out. I think you should go further. I would be a little bit careful with that. I mean, you absolutely could see a lot of volatility. I would try not to go all like crazy with the SPY. I know you like them and you know how to play them. A month out's not terrible. You set the bar high. I'd love to beat you. Either way, win-win for both of us. Dude, I'm going to beat you to 1 million, John. I'm telling you. You stop taking screenshots of my gains while doing quick big gains. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the name of the game. I mean, if it's screenshotable, get it the fuck out. You're all in on Rumble. Do I have a channel? Actually, that was one of my goals for this week to what do you call it? Create a Rumble channel. And if you guys have been following along, I don't know if CFVI is still here. Hold on. Let's see if they ticker changed it, because I'll show you exactly where I called out Rumble. I'll tell you when. You want to know? Here. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up the timestamp on this video, because I have it out there. I called out Rumble really early. It was right as Tate got banned. I was like, Rumble on it right now. So I was watching that one. I made a decent chunk of change on that one. It was easy, quick flip. I actually wanted some leaps on it. It was just a little bit too volatile for me. I had some, and then I just kind of sold them for a little bit of a gain. But yeah, called that one to a T. Let's see. On a serious note, really hoping for that Sava dump tomorrow. Bought puts near the top with a month's expiration. Moto, we can actually take a look at Sava. Here's the thing. You're going against news. Sava today, it's sleep. I think it's what's his name? Slother, I think his name. He comes into the channel sometimes, and especially the private streams, and he'll just be like Sava, and it's just doing this shit. And again, so we were looking at this here this morning, had a beautiful cross up right here and just rimmed the entire day up until about here. This is probably, if I was in Sava, where I would have gotten out if I was looking at the rims. So watching this 13 on the way up here, you can use this as you can use it as a get the fuck out level. Again, it ended up making a new high after it slipped the 13, but this is usually kind of the safety measure of, okay, closing candles below the 13 EMA on the 5, you could easily see it reverse right there. Let's see. Slow Walker. What's up, buddy? What's up, everyone? All right. So I'm thirsty, man. Let's pull up SPY and give you guys some key levels going into tomorrow. So what are futures doing right now? What is the SPX at? 3764. Okay, so you're right like here. This is about where you're trading right here in this little zone. So you're basically just above the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. It's not going to transfer over exactly, but this is around the realm of where you're trading right now. The S&P 500 is up about 0.17% in the futures trading session right now. It's kind of what Powell's check Dixie. I did. Luke, we were just talking about Dixie. Watch the dollar, guys. Watch the dollar. That is going to be a J Powell tomorrow. What the fuck is Powell doing tomorrow? Fed listens event. Chair Jerome Powell opening remarks moderated by Vice Chair Lael Brainerd. And wow, 2 p.m. So that'll be fun. Again, he's probably, when Powell does these types of Fed listens, I usually don't hear that as being a hyped up event. The only meetings that are kind of crazy, other than Fed meetings, Jackson Hole, sometimes when he talks at like the World Economic Forums, he slips up and says something. If he gets answered asked some questions, he could provide some guidance. But again, he's not. It's 2 days after the Fed meeting. There's not much that's going to be changing from the statements that he said 2 days ago. And you have to think about it like this. Once the statements are out from Jackson Hole and the FOMC, well, they're already getting priced into the market. So if he says the same thing, the market already knows. The market's already got it. And it's still reacting off of the statements that he's already made. But looking at SPY here, I mean, you do have this little double bottom intraday. It was pretty flat all day though. So you could see this level right here around 370, 360 as being pretty key going into tomorrow. I probably won't draw a level there just because I'm so focused on that 370, 250. Here's why. We are going to see at some point a test of that level. Some point it's going to happen. This is most likely not going to be the bottom. In my opinion, I don't see any reason for us to really rip from here with the dollar where it is, the 10-year where it is, and where we're headed. I just don't see it. I think we're at least going to test that 370, 250. We're close. We're at 375. That's not really a big move. The reason why I have this level here is that from the lows right here at 362, which we will mark off. Actually, we can do that right now. We'll mark off that previous low, just so we have it if we slip that 372. And I want to make sure this is locked because these things go all over the place sometimes. So the reason for this, you see this run up here, you double top, and then you sell off right to this 372.50. Cool. You bounce off of it, come down, retest, bounce off it again. Okay. So what do we know about this level? There's a lot of buying interest around these levels right here. Ryan, I'll take a look at that. You know your fundamentals like a mother effer. Gotta go. Have a good one. Sarita, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. We'll be on here doing these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every single night. And again, if you guys wouldn't mind tapping that like button, helps get these streams out to some more people. Calls on UVXY. Maybe. I mean, again, I would really play this intraday and see what happens at that 372.50. Okay. So then we run back up here to almost that key double top level that we were seeing before. Okay, then what do? We run back down and we flash this level, 371. We fall $1.50 below. It gets bought up very quickly on the 4-hour and then runs all the way to that recent high at 431. A lot of buying interest at this level here. And you have to see if those buyers are still going to be sitting there waiting to buy this thing up. This is 3 tests right here. And again, this first test, there were sitting buy orders right here. They bought it. There's still sitting orders here. They bought it again. It was a little bit weaker this time, but they ended up fighting and pushing it back up. Went long on the like, Rudy. Those of you guys that are in our group know the deal with Rudy. Can you cover TLT? Took only $60 profit today. Didn't dump like I hoped. Yes, I can cover TLT. TLT with the way yields are reacting in the after hours right now, look like they're gonna continue to push TLT a little bit lower. The thing is we can go over this in a second, but looking at that 372.50 level, if we slip it and just really get like a giant red selling candle right here in terms of like the volume and down here, I mean, it's not looking good. You look at this thing on the 4-hour, again, it's possible that you get this rim retest to the upside around 378, 379. Very possible that you come back up there before pushing those new lows, which is kind of what I see here. Now, TLT, this is going to go along with TINA. There is no alternative. If you see that reverse TINA, and you see people fly into bonds and push yields down, TLT will move like a rubber band here and just go like this. Pop. It'll just rip. Because if you see a drastic move down in the 10-year, TLT will rip. Just like you saw today. Drastic move up in the 10-year, TLT tanked 2.5%. You heard they're doing something drastic for the dollar yen so it doesn't hit 150. Oh, it's like yield curve control. Yeah, I'd have to take a little bit of a deeper look into that. I saw an article about it the other day. And I think they did something today where they were like basically ditching their dollars and throwing it back into the yen. But I'd have to take a little bit of a look into that situation a little bit deeper to see how it's going to affect everything. So if you watch the yen, you can see there's something there. I'd have to take a deeper look into it though. I haven't spent the time diving deep into that situation. I've been kind of more on the TINA side, the bond yields and the dollar, which also could feed into the yen stuff as well. So I can take a look at that. Pepe, thanks for the super, buddy. I really appreciate that. Here's my mandatory super. Sorry, it's late, guys. You don't have to send in supers if you don't want to. I appreciate that, man. Dude, what books do you recommend to be all educated and whatnot like you? It's not books. It's really not books. It's literally an internet connection and Google. So if you're hearing things in the news, you're seeing tweets and things that you don't know. I do this all the time with things that I don't know. What I'll do is I'll see something that I'm like, I know what that is, but not enough as I should sometimes. And I'll be like, that's interesting. And then I'll go back into Google. I'll see what it is, see what it affects, see how things move around it. And then it'll just be in my memory bank and I'll know what it is. I honestly don't think the only thing that I really got from books was like Flash Boys and like but like what are you gonna that's actionable trading stuff? No, not really. Rogue Civilian Stream Fee Squeeze. No, guys, you don't have to do that. I want to make sure that you guys are all prepared for the days to come. And again, if you guys do want to take your trading to the next level, you guys know where to find us. It's like $3 a day. Link at the top of the live chat over there too. So if you guys really do want to take your trading to the next level, I mean, we are the best place to come and learn how to trade. Hands down, the amount of time that we put into having you guys just like make you guys killers in the market is awesome. And seeing your success is amazing too. So if you guys are interested in joining us, you guys know where to find us. Well, SPY gap down. Costco's earnings were not bad, but it flushed. They probably issued poor guidance. I didn't see it. I'm not really focused on this earnings cycle right now. I'm more kind of going into the next earnings cycle. I'll take a look at DRV in a second, Joel. I'm really focused on the next earnings cycle. So when is that going to start? So when is the bank earnings? Because that's always the first week. Let's take a look here. Earnings calendar 2022. I don't want NASDAQ. NASDAQ pisses me off when it does this. Nope. No, should be October. October 17th, Monday, Bank of America. Bank of America, or the banks usually kick it off. So mid-October, October 17th is when we're going to start earnings season. But DRV, let's see. Check out the options date, October 21st, 110 strike open interest. Diamondback in on what? On TLT? TLT, thank you. 110. Calls or puts? Calls or puts? Let's see. October. I'll get puts first. 7,000 on the put side. 84,000 on the call side. Why the only way that TLT gets pumped, is if everybody flies into bonds. Like so much money just starts flying into bonds. If yields keep going up like this, TLT is just going to continue to go down. Those could be hedges. This might be a dumb question. TQQ is levered but cheaper than the SPY. Would it be a lot more risky? Yes. By the way, 1348 is amazing. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. So TQQQ, again, since it's levered, is going to basically, we go over this a lot, but it's going to reset every single night. Meaning that they have to reset the value of that ETF through swap contracts, bonds, and the sort to make sure that it's still going to be levered in the way that they want it to. Now, that conversion or that change, the slight change that makes up the underlying messes with options premiums sometimes. So that's why I don't hold them overnight. How come I don't stream in the mornings anymore? I do every single day. Again, we have our group with 1348 and all those people have shown the overwhelming eagerness to come and learn how to make money in the market. So I've been supporting them from 8:45 to 10:30 every single morning. We're in there with all you guys. 9K volume in a day for that 110 strike as well. Again, I don't like to follow people in like that. The only thing that I will use in terms of looking at like open interest in things of the sort is the overall market delta to give an indication of what big money is doing in terms of hedging or seeing that the market's going to move in a big direction. I personally don't look at specific strikes because of two things. One, you are trying to guess that the person or entity buying those contracts knows something. You have no idea what they know. Zero. So you're following somebody into a trade that you don't necessarily know that like what they know. So it's blind. Let's see. I introduced my friend to 1348. I explained it to him. It's the missing link for dumb money, and he understood it right away. There we go. What stocks is Pythagoras liking right now? For trading stocks on the way up, not many. Not many. Not many. Pythagoras is nasty though, man. I've hit some just filthy trades with Pythagoras. That thing is like, shout out to Algo, man. If you guys don't know who Jim Simons is, he's the founder of Renaissance Technologies. It's the most successful hedge fund of all time. They were generating just absolutely insane returns year over year, so much so that people still think that Renaissance is the best kept secret of a Ponzi scheme of all time. That's how good their returns were. And I like to say that Algo is the modern day Jim Simons with these algorithms that he's able to create based around the requirements that we want to have in our algorithms. They're just nasty, man. It's the best tool that retail has ever gotten access to, and they're only going to get better. And we're continuing to build more stuff on top of that as well. It's filthy, man. Invictus is crazy too. Trader Joe is killing it. I think Trader Joe is up like what 24-25%. What's the market down? Like it's crazy. Hit some GE puts that Pythagoras called out today. Looks like he's about to get the cross. There we go. Algo's legit. Yeah, Algo's a beast, man. What else were we gonna look at? Oh, Ryan, you sent me that QQQ stuff over here. Let me see. What are you looking at? That's yeah, okay. I could sort of see that. Don, thank you for the Superman. I appreciate that. Netflix long-term outlook. I appreciate that. But Don, you guys, again, you don't have to send me supers in here if you don't want to. But I do appreciate it. I know, Don, you're in there with us. Thank you. I appreciate that. But Netflix long-term outlook. They've been getting some price target increases recently based on their ad-supported tier that people think that that is going to be successful for them. Personally, I don't know. You have to think about these big growth companies in terms of an S curve. So let me pull up a picture of an S curve for you guys. So this is going to show the growth of a lot of these really, really large tech companies. It's this right here. This is what an S curve looks like. So here's what happens. You're starting your business back here. This is Netflix at inception. Then it starts to grow. Now, since it's a tech company in a streaming space that a lot of people want, you see this exponential growth, but you can't grow forever, and then it starts to fizzle. Sure. So, for trading stock, should I follow Trader Joe then? I don't have an account that I can short with. I'm not currently in the 1348 Discord yet. Not hesitant, just have no time. So Tristan, so Pythagoras and Trader Joe are both built for people with 9-to-5 jobs. That's mainly what they are built for, and you can trade shares with them. Right now, our curriculum videos go over how to trade options on them, especially to the downside if you're not comfortable shorting. But Trader Joe and Pythagoras are pretty similar. What Trader Joe does is he is following all of the 1348 rules that we've outlined. And Pythagoras is actually the predictive algorithm. So he's predicting crosses before they happen, and that's how he's trading. Don't tell me how to waste my money. Thanks, Diamondback. I appreciate that. But yeah, so looking at this S curve right now, these growth companies aren't going to be able to grow forever. Here's what happens though. The market needs to understand this. If they don't price this level of growth in, the stock tanks. Because what you see is, I don't know if I can draw this. So you see this growth like this, but imagine as company earnings flatten out like this and the company's not growing, stock price continues to shoot up in this direction. So you have growth in like actual valuation leveling off, and you still see the stock price shoot. The problem with that is that eventually, as the market expected level of earnings is way the fuck up here, and the S curve is showing you that it's, well, this is easier for you guys to see. So let's say the S curve is now flattened, stock price is trading up here, and they need earnings to be up here, but in reality, they're down here. That's when you see those giant swan dives on earnings that Netflix has done. You can see it here. Swan dive, swan dive. It just dies because it's hit almost its peak. Not in terms of share price, maybe. You can always have some weird nonsense happening with the overall stock market. and you can still see the stock price go up. But in terms of earnings, you need to have that little bit of a reset. Thanks for these happy hour lives. Anytime, man. I appreciate all you guys being in here. He's just a humble carpenter. He is, man. He is. So that's kind of what we're looking at on Netflix here. And that's kind of how a lot of these heavy growth companies, that's something that they're going to have to deal with. And Tristan, if you have any more questions, man, just throw them in the live chat. One of our members that is in here can definitely help you out with it. And then I can also answer the questions too if I see them. But looking at companies like a Roku, or I mean, it's also like streaming, or like these high growth companies that have been really been like retail and institutional favorites. I mean, just look at what's happened with Cathie Wood in her portfolio. I mean, she's getting slapped. She's just all in on growth. She's just so ultra bullish for the future in terms of where things could potentially go that she's not catching the S curve right now. She's getting screwed. Freddie, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Well, Palantir clapped. There's a couple of things with Palantir clapped today, or Palantir clapped in general. Palantir is one, they have the way that the market responds to their earnings is a little bit strange. They've been a private company forever, so their executive compensation structure is very confusing to people. So it shows up as something on the balance sheet that freaks people out that they just don't understand. Second thing is that the Palantir's revenue, a lot of it is coming from government contracts, and a lot of them came from the pandemic. So what I always said about them is that you need to have Palantir in terms of like long-term investing. They need to diversify a little bit out and have more clients, more revenue coming in, because if they lose one client in terms of one aspect of what they're doing, like one of their government contracts, the revenue takes a giant hit. The Leisneys, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'll wait for you at 1 million. Utmost respect for you. See you in the morning. John, I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Maintain says way calmer trading shares with the bots. When you can't pay attention, I work 10-hour days most of the time. Been good so far. Awesome, man. I appreciate that. Maintain. Shout out to you, buddy. SPY 350 soon. If you slip, so Luke, if you slip that 372.50 on the SPY, I do think that you're going to see new lows, just because if you wipe out those levels there, I think you're going to see a lot of fear come back into the market. You're really free falling here. I think you do have a little bit of room to retest right back up here, this 379, which is also that 4-hour 13. But if you do slip these levels here, I think it gets pretty nasty to the downside. Well, they say the market could trade sideways for 6 to 10 years. Yes, that's the other thing. Stanley Druckenmiller. Where's that article? Right here. When Stanley Druckenmiller talks, guys, pay attention. What do you think about the commercial growth? Not enough. I honestly haven't taken a look at it in months. I'd have to take a look at what they've been doing. But when Stanley Druckenmiller talks, you listen. One of the most successful money managers of all time. If there was a Hall of Fame for money managers, he's in it. Whatever you want to think about these types of people, they know what the fuck they're doing. So again, he could just be talking his book, which is a very, very common theme. Ackman, a very, very strong example of this right before the crash in March of 2020, comes out and basically says the sky is falling, and basically discloses that he has a bunch of credit default swaps on, I forget what it was, but he was very short the market. But Druckenmiller has a couple of very specific reasons for this. Where is it? Where is it? It's right here. Has to do with inflation. Hold on. Stocks, it's a tectonic shift. High probability in my mind that the market at best is going to be kind of flat for 10 years, sort of like the 66 to 82 time period, which is also when you saw inverse Tina. Druckenmiller said, oh, here it is. That with inflation raging, central banks raising rates, deglobalization taking hold, and the war in Ukraine dragging on, he believes the odds of a global recession are now at the highest in decades, if we're not already there yet. You're on late. How's it going, amigo? It's going good, man. Let's get you guys ready for tomorrow. I mean, this is going to be another wild day, man. It's going to be crazy. I think we have the potential to see the market get bought up a little bit. And then next week's going to be a bit crazy. Now, I mean, we do have Powell at 2 p.m. tomorrow too. So that's going to be something that I want you guys to mark on your events for tomorrow too. It's a Friday. I probably wouldn't try and trade on it. If you catch some good plays in the morning, I would relax on it a little bit. What do you think the ripple effect of Chinese real estate will have on our economy, if any? I think that we already have a big enough real estate problem here that is brewing that it's like it'll just add a little fuel to the fire. I mean, you've seen the Evergrande stuff for a while. You've seen those buildings being built up, just nobody's in them in China. It can have a ripple effect. But when you think about where somebody was saying it today in the pre-market stream, they actually went over the actual numbers of where mortgage rates are now versus about a year ago and what type of home you could afford. It was like a $600,000 home before you could afford, and now it's like 390 or like 340 with the same mortgage payment. It's crazy. DRV, yes, that's the one that you wanted me to look at, and I will take a look at it right here for you. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Direction? What is this? Fancy inverse daily performance of the real estate sector. Oh, Joel, smart man. I like that idea actually. It's 3 times levered, so if I were to do anything on this, I would rip shares with it. Just my personal opinion. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me a few times. It's a bit risky. Long on tech stocks? No, I would not go long on tech in this environment. I would be short-term bearish and long value in this environment. I would be short the fuck out of tech. Just think about it. If you're a tech company and your present valuation is heavily based on future cash flows and discount rates are going up, what does that say? We've gone over this. What does that say about your present value? What happens? It's called a multiple compression. So when discount rates go up, you see the multiple, which is 1 over the discount rate, go down, which is essentially cash flow now times whatever the multiple is. Let's see. Cashing in T-bonds to rescue the real estate market. Well, if they sell bonds, our yields are going to explode. If they really start, like, I'd have to look and see how much China has and what they're doing. You'll probably be able to find it somewhere. I can take a look at that. But yeah, if they start selling bonds, our yields will explode. Healthcare stocks in these markets are a good bet. Nah, energy, yeah. I'm waiting on a lot of people have been asking, especially in some of the private streams too, about playing oil. For me right now, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to be fucking around with oil. It hasn't picked a direction yet. Here's the other thing that you guys need to understand: the commodity market. You got to think of OPEC. OPEC's basically a cartel. That's what they are. They just set prices. They mess around and they set prices through their output. And what they see fit in the oil market. Now, in the United States, we have what's called the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. What the United States has done is said that they want to refill the SPR because it's at very, very low levels historically. And they want to go out on the open market, buy oil at 80. What happened then? The market saw that as a price floor and oil popped. Then what does the United States do? They say they're going to release more oil from the SPR. What does that then do? More supply in the market puts the price of oil back lower so that then they can go out and buy it at fucking 80. It's a whole bunch of nonsense. So until honestly we start to get into these colder months, I'm just kind of cautiously watching the oil stocks. I mean, you see the cross downs on the daily. Our algorithms have just absolutely mauled the oil plays. Just trading technicals. Personally, I wouldn't have taken the trades, but the Pythagoras has done very well with them. It's just in terms of just the overall macroeconomic environment, I personally don't want to be short oil right now, but I also don't really want to be long because I do see the potential for a bunch of nonsense to happen. How screwed am I on your $7 forward calls for October 1st? By the way, you finally got your options account. Not sure if you remember me from Canada. Joe, of course I do. Let's see. Joe, why did you enter that trade on Ford? This is going to be a good learning example here. Why did you enter this trade on Ford? And when did you buy them? This is probably the better The better way to do this. When did you buy them? Guys, this is gonna be a great learning example here. So make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. Helps get these streams out to some more people. Okay, so that's when they expire, October 21st. But what day did you actually buy those contracts? Do you remember? Was it today? Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it a month ago? When did you buy these contracts, Joe? 2 weeks ago. Bull flag. Okay. What's the date? Because that's gonna give me a better understanding of when you did it. Like, the exact date would be very helpful, and then I'll show you something. Let me see. Let me see if I can find one. Oh, this is gonna be a disaster. All right, hold on. I'm looking for something for you. And then let me get over here. 2 weeks ago. Okay, so let's say 2 weeks ago from today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This candle. Okay. So let's say you bought on the 2nd. And let me see if I can find Invictus. No. Second. Let me look. Invictus. The 8th. Let me do this here. Let's go to the 9th. Then to the 7th. Hold on. I'm trying to find something here for you. 6th. 8th. Let me see if it's in the system. So in general, though, when you're looking at this chart, 1 second. Yeah. So in general, when you're looking at this chart right now, this chart, you see this MACD cross here after this gap down. Let's actually throw this up on the trading view chart that you guys all get once you hop in there with us. So, I mean, looking at this chart right here, that's this candle, RSI is below its moving average. It's approaching 50. You see ADX is dying right here. So you saw this uptrend. You see the uptrend is completely fizzling out. MACD is showing this bearish momentum here. You see that break of the 200. You get this daily cross down. Ford didn't look good to the upside here. Yeah, Joe, that's okay. That's perfectly fine if you can't find the exact date, buddy. But looking at this time frame here, this is hunting a Pythagoras play. This is a Pythagoras daily cross down. You would see this come through, predicting the cross down probably around here, and it just tanks. You're learning? Awesome. That's what we want. We want everybody taking control of their own portfolios. This is a market that you need to know exactly what you're doing. If you don't, you could get lucky. You're probably going to get clapped. And again, even if wouldn't it be 10 days? You're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I could see why you're trying to get in over here, but again, it's not really confirming to the upside. This is not really giving me an indication here that this is going to reverse. There's no cross up. There's no nothing. If you throw this on the 4-hour time frame here, and you go, what was that date? It was probably right around here. I'm guessing this one, probably right around here. I mean, what was the date? Hold on. That's the weekly. The 9th. Let's see. Where's the 9th? 16th, 12th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Oh, 9th. 9th, right in here. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have touched this one. Again, looking at market conditions going into Powell, I probably would not have gone in there. Thoughts on Chinese IPOs listing tomorrow, LICN and WXT. If they pump and you decide to go in, be very, very, very careful. Those Chinese IPOs like to move all over the place, man. We've seen HKD, we've seen Megal. Personally, I'm staying so far away from that. It's just a little bit of nonsense there. It's just they're crazy, man. They're nuts. I haven't looked into them. If they start to pump and you decide to get in, it's on you. You're sticking your head in the alligator's mouth there. Was gonna call it a night, but I have to keep listening. Want to say hi to my kiddos, Allison, Owen, and Madeline. Shout out to you guys. Your dad's awesome. He's a beast in the market. What is going on in the market? VIX. Okay, Brad. So here is essentially the quick breakdown of. Is there a reason why you guys don't cover QQQ? We do cover QQQ. It's in the alert system. I just like SPY a little bit more. I'm more in tune with just S&P movements. It's just what I look at all the time and have on my chart, but it's the same thing. QQQ can be a little bit more volatile because it's has a heavier exposure to tech. And that might be why you see it's more profitable, because it's going to be a little bit more volatile. But quick breakdown of the market here. Here's what we're looking at. We just saw more news from Powell yesterday that the Fed is essentially, if you're thinking about what the Fed is putting the most weight on their dual mandate, they are 75% weighted on getting inflation under control. So what does that mean? Rate hikes and more balance sheet runoff, essentially. So flooding the market with supply, I mean, that's not really going to do all that much, but rate hikes will. The problem is that you need to see the rate hikes have the positive effect on getting inflation down, and not just the negative effect of just fucking everybody. With unemployment, low growth, and tightening all of these companies' margins. You just saw it with FedEx. You just saw it with Facebook. Layoffs. It's going to make them more profitable. But what they're doing is it's a businesses are going to have to enter into these cost-saving measures in order to continue to make themselves look attractive to invest in or maintain their profitability levels that they have previously. So if the Fed is not able to get this situation under control, which I personally think they're way behind the curve, then we're going to continue to see the market not trust Powell. And that's kind of what you're seeing in the overall stock market. Now, if this is a hypothetical, if Powell came out before, and they didn't go through this nonsense of calling inflation transitory and nothing was really going to be that big of a deal, then you could have seen all of these rate hikes come in. And if you started to see inflation tick down enough, I mean, you might have seen like Powell would raise rates and you'd see the market pop, because the market would have confidence that we have a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't see that right now. We see going into winter, inflation not coming down, the Fed not really having a lot of credibility, Powell saying there's going to be a reset in the real estate market, and essentially being a big hawk when he didn't have to if he came out previously and was going to essentially say, yes, this is what we should have done before, but he didn't. So that's what's kind of going on with the market. You see China kind of messing around with potentially, as you guys were saying, selling a bunch of U.S. treasuries, which would inflate our yields. But let's see. Good evening. I have a $36 put on BBWI. What do you think? Raphael, were we talking about this morning when it was up? I remember I was talking to somebody this morning about a BBWI put when this thing just was up a lot in the pre-market, and then ended up selling off pretty significantly. I mean, this thing's looking good to the downside here. I mean, you've got what? I don't know what expiration you have, but it was down 1.67%. Today it's down 1% in the after hours here. You have this daily cross down hunting, and I believe this is also a Pythagoras trade too that it's predicted. So that's another gem that Pythagoras has thrown out there. You grabbed a 365 put for the end of the month. What level would make you let them go? Okay, Leo, this is a very good question. There isn't one. Here's what I would do. This is just me personally and how I trade. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Just put it out there. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't know how many contracts you have. If you have one, this isn't really going to help. If you have multiple, this is going to help a lot. So if you have multiple contracts, and I'm guessing you've held these for a little bit, that they're going to be in the green. Now, again, the make it free strategy is going to take you very far, because what you're able to do is make the trade either risk-free or have very, very minimal risk if the trade were to then expire worthless. So let's say here that you have a few contracts and you're able to essentially take all of your initial investment off of the table, except for 10% of it. So now your actual risk, it's not actual risk, but it's depending on what stop loss you have. But your risk now in the trade is then what you still have in it after you've taken profits. Let's just say we're going to hold it to expiration. Now, if that trade ends up expiring worthless, that whole trade is technically you getting stopped out at 10%. If it ends up going up even more, well, you still have money in the trade and you can continue to ride those puts to the downside. Nicely done. Thanks, Rogue. Appreciate that. But yeah, most of the time I'll scale out of things is what I'll do. There's not really a specific price level that I would look out for. I would almost look for that 372.50. Be very, very aware that that is a key level. 372.50 on the SPY. Let's pull that back up for all the people that are coming into the stream now. Oh, we just crossed 100 likes too. If you guys get that up to, what was the number? 300 for ankles? I don't think you guys can do it tonight, but we'll see. But that 372.50 over here is going to be a very, very key and important level. And tomorrow in the private streams with you guys at 8:45, we'll be looking to see where we are trading in relation to that. If we start approaching that level, I'm going to be watching the market like a hawk, and I'll probably go hands off like to cash just to see where it's going to what it's going to do around that level, because it could bounce really hard off that level and come back up and retest on the 4-hour. So what you could see is that move down here like this, comes down, taps, and runs back up to this 13 or even this resistance level right here. The reason for that is look what's happened the last couple of times that it's approached this level. Now, again, since it's tapped this level a few times, you might see it sell through. There's less sitting buy orders in there. So you see it come down, tap, shoots right back up to the 13, comes down, tap, shoots up through the 13, but hitting my level right here. Or hitting this level up here. So that 372.50 level is almost the key level that I'm looking for to determine if the market's really going to pick that direction up or down. Back to the upside, a little bit of relief, chop around there, or if we're really in for some big knife candles. Likes just jump, calls on ankle. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. It helps get these streams out to some more people. I want to make sure that you guys are prepared for going into the next day. And again, all you guys that are in there with us in the group, you guys will know how things change overnight. And again, if you guys want to hop in there with us, you guys know where to find us. Pythagoras has been mauling, killing it lately. Same thing with Trader Joe. Trader Joe has made a wild comeback, dude. Trader Joe, I don't think has been read at all this year, which is crazy. I wonder if Powell speaking tomorrow affects things again. I would say it will. I think it will. Maybe not to an extent, but I think you're going to see the market brace for it. I think it'll definitely be bracing for it. It's going back up. Fed meeting was a major overreaction or overaction. I don't know about that. I think the reaction in the bond market is telling you the story right now. Bonds doing what they're doing is a very weird signal. On the watch list tomorrow, we'll also have TLT. So I'll be watching TLT tomorrow, see what that thing's going to do overnight. 10-year was up. Let me look and see what it is now, if it's still trading. 3713 is what I'm seeing it quoted at right now, which is very high. Do you think this red trend was market preemptively bracing for Powell? No. I mean, sort of. It was more so TBLT is tough built industries, I think, and TBT is the inverse of TLT. It's going to be more illiquid. It's lower priced. So be a little bit careful with that. If I'm going to do anything, I'll trade TLT. So if everybody starts freaking out about TLT, you can go to TBT and just catch people slipping because they won't know. They won't know where to go with it in terms of because they just don't know that TBT is there. It's just the inverse of TLT. What time frames is SPY on here? This is the 4-hour. Where do I see AMC over the next year? I don't know, man. I mean, we saw I told you guys exactly what was going to happen in my ape video. If it rips up, they were able to dilute. Great. If it comes down and AMC is not able to dilute, that's a big problem. So we'll see. When playing the 5-minute, do you draw supported resistance lines on different time frames? What's your process? This is I think we were talking about this today in the stream too. That I think is a really, really good thing to end off on for the night. So here's what we'll do. This is usually how I will do things. I will have levels drawn on longer time frames. Usually what I'll do is I'll pull up the 1-hour and I'll say, okay, where has price made these big pivot points? See how we have one right here? Boom. Right here, boom. Now there are going to be some levels in here that are from way the hell back here that I'm looking for. But these are going to be the levels from previous days. Now this 372.50 level is from pretty far away, but it's still going to be a key level on here, and I still think that price is going to move pretty crazily around that 372.50. Now that's for those longer time frames. That's for those longer time frames. For shorter time frames, here's what I'll do. And we did it a little bit earlier we did it on Apple today. In this stream right here. So this is what we did on Apple. This is what we were looking for. So what I'll usually do is I will come in the day before and look over the last 3 days and say, okay, where has price made large movements up or down? And I will draw levels there. Today, Apple had this nice little V-shaped recovery right around 150.91. So this is another level of interest that I'll have for tomorrow, where if it starts to sell off through, this can be used as a target or a pretty significant level where price can slip and move aggressive down. So that's kind of the process that I go through. And then the other thing that I will do that we didn't touch on a whole lot, but we did with what was his name again? Shoot, Neil, I think his name was. I think it began with an N. Shoot. I forget his name on the one-on-one today. But yeah, we are doing more one-on-ones. So if you guys are struggling, make sure you guys let us know. We'll bring you onto the one-on-one sessions. We want you guys fully locked in, ready to go. Now, if I'm looking at stuff intraday and I see Apple, let's just say Apple makes a move like this level will now be a level that I'll be watching. I may not draw like an actual level there, but on our trading view charts here, you'll have it printed. So if you look at Apple on the 5-minute, that's why I use these two charts. So you'll have this previous low level printed here, and you'll be able to see it on your chart. You can see right around this little zone here, you see price starting to bounce off. So that's why I have both of them up. If I drew everything out on one screen, it would just confuse the shit out of me. So that's why I have these two charts up, so that if I miss something on one, my charts aren't clouded. Dropped a new Jay Powell video in the memes. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Oh, I kind of want to go take a look at that. Those are pretty sweet. But yeah, that's kind of the process I go through of drawing support and resistance lines. I'll try supply and demand zones too every now and then. I like these levels though. They've helped me out a whole lot. I mean, knowing your key levels is incredibly important. You guys coming to the live stream last night, knowing about that Tesla level right around 295 to 295.60. I mean, I've definitely heard a lot of people making a lot of money on that Tesla slip this morning. So, I mean, good on you guys for knowing those levels, man. I think we talked about that in the pre-market stream too, which also goes into market hours at 10:30. I just call it the pre-market stream. Let's see here. Oh, you guys are killing it on the likes tonight. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for all you guys that are showing love and engaging with the videos here. I appreciate that. Tristan, you started a Wealthsimple account to trade stocks. I'm not comfortable right now to trade options, although it'd be nice if I traded options. Yeah. So Tristan, it's something that you definitely have to get over and learn how they work and how they move. What I would suggest to you is opening up a paper trading account and just trying to follow the strategy. It can be our strategy that we teach that a lot of people are doing great with. You can find your own strategy. You can do whatever. But what you should do is start paper trading these options to see how they move, to see how volatile they are, to see what kinds of potential gains you can make, how quick they move down, learn about theta and time decay and how much time you need to get on these contracts in order to slow the trades down. That's what paper trading is really good at doing. It's not good at giving you the emotional aspect of trading. We were talking about this earlier too, that discipline. And I think this is a good thing to kind of wrap it up on too. I know a lot of you guys in here, which is awesome. This is what I like here. A lot of you guys in here are fully down and want to learn how to make money in the market. That's awesome. I love it. That's the first step. Knowing where to go to learn is the first step. It then comes down to, once you have the skills, are you disciplined enough to follow your rules that you're implementing every single day? And it applies to everything. I mean, controlling your emotions in these trading situations and knowing how you react to when a position starts to go against you, when it starts to really go in your favor. How do you react to those situations? And studying your losing trades, I think, is a good way to do this. But the thing you have to think about is discipline. Make sure that you are very regimented in your trading process in order to have something that is scalable, replicatable, You need to be following the same set of rules on every trade. There's nobody is going to get rich willy-nilly and stuff. You might get rich quick, and then you're going to lose it all because you try to do the same thing and it goes against you. So following the system, I talk about this a lot with money management, in learning how to manage a small portfolio, in thinking to yourself, would I take this trade? There's two things that you can think about. Would I take this trade if my account size was 10 or 100 times as big? Meaning that $500 position then turns into a $5,000 position or a $50,000 position. Would you make the same trading decision? Second thing that you guys can think about here is if you had to then go and explain your trade to somebody according to the rules, could you do it and make it make sense? Would you entering this trade according to your set of rules make sense if you had to vocalize it to somebody? The example we used is if you had to then explain your trade to me or to Gabe or to Diana or anybody that helps out with us, how would we react to you entering that trade? Would it make sense? If it makes sense and you still get stopped out, there's no reason to be upset. You're following your rules. You're going to have losers in trading. It's going to happen. Just got back from the Rangers game. What's up, Vix? 1348, 25% on a firm this morning. Took profits a ton. Dude, I wanted that one. That was the one that I wanted today. Or no, I think that was the one that I wanted this morning that I didn't get. That and Neo. Neo, I got clipped on a little bit. Little stop out on Neo, then just proceeded to murder the SPY. Actually, I don't think I actually lost on Neo because I took profits at a pretty decent level. Maybe a slight loss on Neo. I think it was pretty flat, though. Because it started to run back up on the Invictus alert and then just continued to just get mauled. I just didn't like it. I was like, I went a little risky with this one. It was this Invictus alert here. Runs back up a little bit, started to reverse, and then I was out here. I think it was a tiny loss. But then it proceeds to just get knifed. So that was a nasty one. Good job, guys. Long time since hanging in a stream. What's the bottom? Hit the like, you filthy animals. Vic, appreciate that, buddy. Nobody knows the bottom. If I was able to tell you the bottom, we'd all be millionaires. So I don't know. I mean, I think we could easily see something like 350 or 330 if we start to really, really get nasty to the downside. Neo kicked you. Yeah, I mean, so here's the I think what would have, I mean, I was trading I made a silly decision. I traded contracts that expire tomorrow. I make mistakes too. Trading contracts that expire tomorrow. Didn't have enough time on them. If I was in contracts that expired next week, I would have ridden out the whole move, never get stopped out, would have been completely fine with the trade and would have had zero losers on the day. Paper trading will boost confidence immensely. Robert Anthony, very true. You know what else will also boost your confidence a lot? Sizing down. So if you need to build confidence, I think Shining Wiz, we were talking about this too, because you've gone on a pretty nasty run to the upside in your trading account. You're just kind of playing with house money now. But what I've done in the past when I've gone on like periods where it's just not clicking for me, I'm just not seeing the charts the way I need to, which happens to everybody, is I'll just start sizing down and just start hitting those base hits again. And then once I start building confidence back in the trades, I'll start sizing back up again and going in with the full 10%. It's all about consistency. If you're just not seeing something, you're not emotionally good to go, and you're more worried about, you're more antsy about taking that loss, size down. Again, it's a percentage game. It's all a percentage game at the end of the day. But that's hard to separate sometimes. It's hard to separate looking at the dollar amount versus the percentages. Getting more time and sizing down is the way to kind of get back on track if that's what you need to do. Paper trading is amazing. I wish I was doing it since 2020. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, especially a lot of the people that have been with us for a while, wish we started 1348 a while ago. Which, I mean, so do I. I wish we did. Retail, I think, would have had a lot different of a experience with a lot of the crazy things that have happened over the last 2 years if they had the skills now that they do now in order to capitalize on those events that happened previously. But again, at the end of the day, we're here now. You guys are crushing it, man. Justin buying a house. I mean, I saw the cars that you guys were buying. I saw not a hedge fund today with an absolutely just filthy gain, like just nasty. Not going to say what it was on, but he just absolutely murdered it. And that's what it's all about, man. So the next time that we see craziness start to pop off in the market, up or down, we are all going to be ready, and I'm going to make sure that you guys are fully able to capitalize on this move. So we're going to see you guys in the streams tomorrow. Actually, this stream will not be tomorrow. We'll come back on Tuesday. Actually, we'll probably do Sunday too. So I'll probably do these streams for you guys on Sunday to get you ready for the week. And then we'll come back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Gabe and myself are doing those live streams on Monday nights. And then we get all the private live streams every week, all the alerts, algorithms. Again, guys, if you want to hop in there with us, you know where to find us. You start at 1348 for the granddaddy status. I know for a fact I'll make it back from what I learned so far. It's keeping you grounded. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. So yeah, you guys want to hop in there with us, join the streams in the morning. Always fun. We always call out some pretty cool plays. But yeah, let's get after it, man. Learn the system. Again, it doesn't come down to, we were talking about this today, what Gabe and myself are saying. It's teaching you guys how to fish. It's learning the system. Again, 1348 is the core, but everything else that comes along with trading is what's going to take you from a novice trader all the way up to a professional. So guys, I'll see you guys later. 1348 gang. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I don't see any of you guys tomorrow, have a great weekend. Probably see you guys on Sunday. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button on the way out too, I would greatly appreciate that. Other than that, team, see you guys later. Peace.